they're kind of on a back foot. They have Poland coming out. They have to do well. They have to practice well. This game, it's not going to be for circuit points, but it's going to be their training for the circuit point event. And of course, you want to stay in the leads. You do not want to follow challengers. Like it's okay to follow challengers. You can always come back the season after actually the next season. But you want to be in the top 16. You want to be going for that prize pool. No one wants to be, I just want to compete for the prize pool. I want to be there. I want to be for the money.
Yeah, exactly. And we are into bans and picks after a very slow first ban, very rapid fire, Nocturne, Soraka, Shen, Karthus. So global bans, nobody wants to deal with them.
I mean, they're globals, man. They're paying. This is like the traditional bands we've been seeing. Last game we saw, the Cannons come out, the Zyras come out. This game is just globals, globals, and then Yorikari. All right, Yorick with his ability to make any AD carry unkillable and amazing. Ari, just one of the best gankers in the game. Like you mentioned before, we've been seeing bans of her all throughout Europe. She is a good character. Shut her down. Don't want to see her because she is so hard to play against.
And of course, the Malphite is available. So, Malphite is there. Shen was actually banned out. We know that Morgana is a fairly high priority pick as well. Who do Curse actually want to lock in? And it is actually going to be that Malphite. So, flavor of the month, the Giant Rock, is most likely going to be locked in by Anguish and potentially actually played by him as well.
Now,
He is the top laner, of course.
MeetYourMakers, I want to see Rumble come out. I hear Rumble isn't too common in Europe, but there's currently a change that went to Rumble. It makes it much easier to land his Flame Spitter, and the best way I've heard it described is he currently has a Fiddlesticks ultimate on a 6-second cooldown.
Wow, that's a bit OP.
Yeah, a bit. So it'd be effective. I know there's a Volibear, but yeah, now there's a Draven. What's it going to be next, Mackler? I don't trust you, Mackler. I don't trust you.
Yeah, well, I must admit that we did actually see a Draven in OGN a couple of days ago. I'd be lying if I told you who actually played him, but I know I did see a Draven in competitive play, and it's a particularly awesome AD carry.
He's really unique and like he is a short range AD carry, kind of like Sivir, but Sivir has some utility. She has her defensive spell. She has her like AOE move speed for the team. Draven's all about himself. It's like I want to kill people. I just want to murder people. I'm greedy. So he doesn't have that escape. He just has a bit of a move speed, and that's not too effective. And he hurts. He hurts a lot. One of the highest damage carries in the game. But unfortunately, he is kind of a risky pick because there are just some team comps that will shut him down. Like you just cannot deal with characters like Orianna, for example. Just the range poke will be disastrous for him. But Volibear came out. Volibear! Cool. I don't know much about Volibear. I don't see him very often. I believe it's going to be for the top lane is what he's normally seen as. He could be a jungle bear, though.
I have not seen a jungle bear, and the few times that I have seen the bear, he has been up in the top. Um, I wonder if Volibear would be a counter to Malphite.
We'll see.
He sort of relies on his abilities. He's not necessarily completely auto attack driven, so that ground slam or ground smash isn't really going to negatively affect him too much. His passive, that health regen, is going to help him out if Malphite goes for a big dive. So it's an interesting selection, and of course you've got Alistair who could potentially go jungle or support as well. So there's options available.
I like the composition. They're set up for good initiation. Now, Volibear, I have to double check his skills actually. He is dependent on auto attacks to get his execute off. Like you have to hit a target 3 times, and I believe, or actually, I don't know. I have to look into Volibear mechanics now because he's just been so uncommon in the North American scene. I've only played, I believe, 2 games against him since his release, and I've never actually played as him aside from a random 3-week custom game.
Well, what we can do is we can take a look like we did with Zyra. Once we've actually got all the champions locked in and we're into that last little countdown phase, we can actually just go through all the abilities, read through what they do. And if Singed gets locked in, it probably means it's going to be a bear in the jungle, a bull in the bottom lane, and a crazy doctor in the top lane.
A very, very grotesque team in many ways. I guess the bear isn't grotesque. So Singe is locked in. This is gonna be Jungle Volibear most likely. This could very easily be Jungle Singe. Gonna doubt that one. Gonna doubt that one quite a bit though. So luckily they don't have to deal with the Malphite shenanigans that would stop someone like Volibear from being effective in the top lane. Singe, he's gonna be a lot of magic damage, which against someone like Malphite's gonna be super effective. I do like the pickup. He's going to have the option to go ahead, chase down. I want to see who the AP mid is because now they have to be careful. They don't want to pick someone who doesn't have a decent chance to get away from Singe. If Singe just flings in your AP carry and bursts him down, before a fight happens, that's scary. That would be a good pick. That Gragas pick would be very solid just because you know what? Singe can't get to Gragas. He has his body slam, he has his disengage, and we have just an AoE hell composition coming out from Anguish, or not from Anguish, from Curse. So that Gragas could switch. There's a problem, and I'll mention it in a sec if they do go with it.
That's an Akali being locked in.
Jungle Malphite. That is a cool pick.
But now Akali versus Singed in the top lane. Isn't he just going to run right, poison trail in and amongst the smoke or the shadow screen on the floor?
True. Yes and no. The point of this, the shadow screen, isn't so much for the defense against poison. It's just to go ahead and be able to like retreat into it and not get harassed by the creeps. So Singe versus Akali. I haven't seen this lane in quite some time. It's going to be all about an early snowball for Akali. Eventually, Singe will just kind of be unkillable. Like Akali has great gap closers, but Singe will just have so much mobility, so many ways to escape. If there's not enough damage, Akali just will not kill him, and then he'll walk away, do his thing, come back later.
And Zaru just having a bit of fun with champions. Was hovering over Fiddlesticks for a moment or two. Has actually come back to Zyra. We've seen her
Second
once
Zyra.
today already. Game 1 she was selected, Game 2 she was banned, and Game number 3 of the day is going to be locked in for Meet Your Makers. So look at this, Akali probably top lane, Gragas mid lane. We're going to have Jungle Malphite and Ezreal Taric in the bottom lane coming up against what appears to be a Jungle Sivir right now, but that'll most likely change to Jungle Volibear, Singe top, Alistair Sivir bottom, and Zyra in the mid lane.
Oh no, Jungle Sivir this game. Dang.
Not
Except
this
for the
time.
Jungle Sivir.
Well, let's
Okay.
take a look. Let's take a look at the bear's abilities. It's one that we're not 100% familiar with. So let's take the viewers through it as well.
So his passive, once he reaches, I believe, 25% of his HP, might be a little bit higher, he will regain 25% of his HP. Like he just starts healing like crazy. It's got a 5-minute cooldown, I believe. Like we can go ahead and check the specifics. The description on the website or on the client isn't super in depth. Rolling Thunder is when he just kind of charges at somebody and tosses them back. He gets a big move speed bonus while moving towards an opponent. If he's just moving around in general, though, he gets a quarter of that bonus. Still, it's decent, but you want to use that to initiate. It's also actually a really good escape. The delay period started and knocked me out of the champion screen.
Same for me.
So Frenzy, this is Volibear's W. After he attacks 3 times, he can go ahead and use a really strong W. It scales with AD. It scales based off missing HP percentage. I've seen this ability take out carries from half HP from a very well farmed Volibear. I believe it scales off physical damage too. So it hurts. It's really good. And then there's Majestic Roar, his slow. So he doesn't have a hard CC. Well, he does have Fling, kind of. So that's not super hard, but it's a very brief CC. And Majestic Roar is an AoE slow. So, he helps keep people in place, works well with TP. He's a good initiator because of that. He's going to be very tanky with his heal from his passive and has good CC with the Fling and, of course, the slow. Then Thunderclaws, his ultimate. This is the one that people, I think, are a bit underwhelmed by. It's not a dramatic ultimate. Just every 4th attack, it has a proc similar to the Ionic Spark, where it will just deal a lot of AoE magic damage. It's pretty effective, actually. But that is Volibear. We have not seen him a whole lot of competitive play. I'm excited to see him. I want to see how he works. He has Flash, actually, so expect Volibear to flash in, toss somebody from out of nowhere, and just murder a dude.
And take a look at his rune page. 25% attack speed, 13 armor, 24 MR at level 18. So really going for that attack speed, the auto attack speed that is going to help him out in the jungle. And I wonder if we're actually going to see an Ionic Spark being built on him. It's possible. I know he's got that ability from his ultimate anyway, but it would definitely help with his clear times. The additional health is going to benefit his passive as well. So it's not a completely unheard of item. And take a look at Zyra's runes and masteries. 4.5% movement speed. So like we've seen on the previous Zyra, opting to go for that additional move speed in the Quint.
I like this because Zara actually has 310 move speed. Someone like Rise is base at 300, so she's a little bit faster from what I've seen. It shows, and I like going for just, keep her mobile, keep her poking. She seemed to work very well as a mobile champion just because she has good poke with her... Ooh, I have to learn the champion skills. With her Deadly Bloom, and then the Grasping Roots, of course, a great initiator. So you want to stay mobile with her. And I guess the other question I have is, what is Extinct going to be running in terms of runes and masteries? So the reason I criticize Gragas as a pick... Oh, wow, okay. 8.5% magic pen or 8.5 magic pen on Gragas, 15 ability power, and then 45 ability power at level 18. There's no armor seals. It is all AP for Gragas except the M pen.
I get a funny feeling Gragas is going to play aggressive. Just really quickly in these last 10 seconds, Akali's room page, 1.5% move speed, 11 MR, 8.5 physical damage, 11 ability power, 13 armor. Obviously picking up the ability power and the damage, so she can get both of her, I think it's twin disciplines or something similar from her passive.
Yes.
The additional magic damage, the additional spell vamp, etc. So some champions we don't see too often in competitive play. And I'm happy to see this. Akali's back. We haven't seen a Volibear very often. And of course, Zyra is the brand new champion who's only been out for a couple of days. And look at the awesome skins. How on earth are you meant to call a winner from this one?
Was Bloodman Akali's artwork updated? It was. It looks a lot better. That's a really good looking artwork now.
Yep. And of course, the Blood Moon skin is really cool. I must say that Curse are significantly ahead in the skin war. Even Infernal Alistair and Pax Siva are not enough to counteract the PFE, the Glacial Malphite, and Mr. Hillbilly Gragas.
Armor of the 5th Age Cherrick, of course. Highest tier skin in the game, in my opinion. Now, really quickly, I just want to mention it. Why Gragas is kind of odd for this team composition. They have Malphite, they have Gragas. They do different things. Malphite, he likes to ult onto a cluster of people. Gragas, he disperses people. So they have two kind of very different effects. With the Akali, though, I think their plan is have Malphite initiate onto a group of people, use Gragas, split them all over the place, and then Akali can just pick off all the weakened dudes that got knocked around. So I like that pick. It's very odd and not traditional, but I think it will be effective.
I'm also just imagining the potential of a Volibear or a Flash is going to toss him back. Anguish is going to get tossed back once again. That is huge. Anguish is going to go down to first blood, and that has to be rewinded. I am going to rewind this and play this one back in slow motion because that was awesome. Take a look at this now. Anguish, there comes the flash from Mokat. The flash from Anguish comes after the tossback has actually been used, the rolling thunder. Then you see the pulverize from Alistair into the fling from Singed. That just blew my mind.
So if you want to see how MeetYourMakers team composition will work, that is how they want fights to go. Don't forget, there's going to be one more knockup at level 6 for Saru. So, wow, that is like the most effective level 1 combo I've ever seen on a single person. That is not how Anguish wants to start. He actually got a point into a smoke screen to try and escape. So he's going to have just no level 1. He has no presence at the beginning of this game. And this is a bit of a weak start. They will be able to recover from this, but not what English wanted to do at the beginning of the game.
I have never seen something that cool at level 1. The fact that the flash came out from Anguish and it was still tossed back compliments of Rolling Thunder. That little bit of internet delay or whether you want to call it a bug or whatever it was, but so cool. And Siva comes into lane, boots 2 pots and a Vamp Scepter. So that's definitely going to help out the sustain because, of course, that Triumph and Raw from Alistair is not the strongest of heals, but then neither is the Imbue from Tarek.
The one advantage is that the flash is down for both Makata and Libic, so no Alistair initiation, no Volibear flash fling. Oh, what is that chart? Is it Rolling Thunder?
It is Rolling Thunder, yeah. Rolling Thunder for Volibear.
So that we will not be seeing that, but they did what they needed to do. They got the first blood, and I kind of want to see where Maluno goes because he's going to be the big decider. Like his gank is going to be effective, but there's still no easy spot to gank just because so few flashes actually got used in the lanes.
And something that I really like about the Siva pick in this bottom lane, Dazzle can be spell shielded, Mystic Shot can be spell shielded, True Shot Barrage can be spell shielded. Admittedly, it's only going to be one of those 3, so Michael is going to have some decisions to make when he actually throws up that spell shield, but he's going to be able to avoid at least one of those very worrying abilities.
I would not be surprised to see Slupper try and bait out the spell shield just so there can be more follow-up. Like when you spell shield a Slipper, you do get more mana back in return. We actually had a gank go up in the top lane. Makata just not quite fast enough to throw back Anguish. Yeah, they just want to shut down Akali though.
He tried to get in range for the Majestic Roar just to apply that slow and then land the Rolling Thunder, but unfortunately the area of effect on that ability is just a little bit too short, so Akali was able to get away. But the ganks in that top lane are going to be very cool when they decide to tower dive, because they're going to throw you out of tower range.
Actually, Akali does have a decent response to that. She can always try and use her ultimate to get back to any enemy creeps that are near her turret, so it's actually not going to be the worst thing in the world if she gets ganked. It can go horribly wrong, though. That is always a possibility.
And look at Maluno and Extinct, level 4 and level 3. Singed is in so much trouble, he doesn't even know. Is very smart and realizes this, immediately running downwards. Gonna go down to the tri-bush. Gragas and Malphite are trying to get away. That Ghost is gonna help, and Zyra's gonna be able to get in there with those grasping roots. Land the AoE mini snare. And potentially with Mockat, body slams through the wall. Extinct doesn't have the explosive cast to knock anybody back. And eventually, that just fizzles into nothing.
And that is how you play a Singe. Like, oh, do I need to escape? Let me run through their turret. And, yeah, getting away from that gank, that does give Anguish a bit of a chance to farm, and actually Extinct going really aggressive in the mid lane forces a flash out of Sorrow just because of the high auto attack damage coming out of Gragas. But, I mean, that was just great play coming out from Sinkowski. I do have to wonder, if Gragas can keep the distance closed between him and Zara, his auto attack damage will just ruin her. Especially if she does use her plants in a different spot, as was the case right there.
I wonder, if those plants are up, will Extinct's body slam be interrupted by those little plants? I suppose they would, because it would deal damage.
Yeah. You can leap strike to them. They are, for all intents and purposes, there. But it doesn't matter. He actually uses his ignite. Does not land his cast. Do not know if it would be enough.
And take a look at the bottom lane. There comes the Rolling Thunder. Zinnik is going to carry on trying to get away. Mokat opts to use that active of his from the Frenzy, but it's not enough to pick up a kill. And in the middle lane, a very low health Extinct is putting a lot of damage down onto Sharu.
Very low mana. Extinct's pretty full in health. But I don't know, like Zara just getting pressured. He's getting hit by the charge. We actually have Malphite in the bot lane. There is no Taric though, so this could be a terrible gank. Actually, it's going to be a 3 versus 2.
He's going to be knocked up into the air. Maluno is actually going to go down and give up this red buff. Almost takes Mockat out for his troubles, but the passive of Volibear is going to come into play and actually give him a little bit of life back. I am just got a little eye on chat, so if anybody is lagging, refresh the stream there, guys. I have the stream running on the second screen, and it appears to be running fine my side, so just throw a little refresh up there. But 0-2 in favor of MeetYourMakers. It's a pretty good start, and both kills going to Sivir, so that's definitely going to play into their favor.
And Sivir, we don't see her a lot, but she really does scale well with her auto attack reset, meaning she does quite high damage quite early on in the game, and just her auto attack speed from her ultimate. She's going to be effective with not too many items. She's considered an early game carry, but even late game, as long as you can get by the problems with her lower range, she can be just awesome. Anguish in the top lane has actually pushed out Sin. She's only at 28 CS, so not doing too well in the lane despite the early kill on the Anguish and the weaker start. This could be too because of the pressure that they put onto him top lane, but not going too well up there.
I haven't actually seen how that's been going. Has Anguish been playing very, very aggressively? Or is it just... Alright.
He reached level 6 and just like, now's my time to be a collie and it's going to start bullying you. So actually, when he gets back to top lane, we're going to have Sinkowski going up against a Anguish who's a level above him and actually has... Oh, never mind, he went mid. They're ganking top lane.
And take a look at this. Mockat's trying to get in range. Majestic Roar comes out, but unfortunately not going to be able to get in range to apply that slow. So we see the lane switch happening, and Gragas is now moving to take that blue buff away. But a lane swap, Gragas versus Singed. Another interesting one. I don't think there's a huge amount of kill potential in the bottom lane. Dazzle goes out. The headbutt is going to push Slepper away from danger. Makla's spell shield goes up, doesn't manage to block any spells, so he doesn't get the mana back. And unfortunately, Libic actually saving Slepper's life there from the red buff Sivir.
The problem with Singe in the mid lane, by the way, is if they ever go for a gank, they can use Explosive Cast very easily to set it up, since Singe will be in the creep line. Bot lane, Sivir has red buff, they should be able to take a fight, but the Taric Ezreal combo just might be too strong early game. As you can see, we do have Magler trying to auto-attack as much as possible to get HP back from his lifesteal. It looks like they're trying to go for a fight.
Manages to get away from that one right now. That spell shield just expiring on Makla. So well played by Zinnik and Slepper, not feeding Makla more mana than he needs to. So that's not too bad. But in terms of CS, let's have a look at that. Is 58 on the bottom lane to 53. Middle lane 60 to 46 on Zyra. Mokat may be in some trouble now. Anguish is going to look for some pressure. There comes the auto attack. The Crescent Slash goes out. Rolling Thunder, there is a couple more of those dives. Ignite plus one more dive. That should be enough. And Anguish not only picks up the kill, but secures a red buff for himself.
Actually, we do have Zara trying to do something he may not be able to. Like, he has to land his combo, or else Anguish will kill him in response.
Anguish is going to be able to get away from this one, though. Gragas now running headfirst into Sinkowski's Singed. Singed is going to opt to recall there. Now Anguish is recommitted. Look at the damage. Those Blade Slashes are going out. The Strangle Thorns goes up. One more auto attack is all that's needed. And in fact, it's going to be the ultimate from Anguish that picks up the final hit. Now Maluna's going to find Sinkowski. And this is a good passage of play. 2-0. 2 kills for Akali in exchange for 0 kills from MYM. It was really, really nicely done. And of course, a fed Akali is somebody to be terrified of.
And once Akali starts going on the top lane, like I said before, Singed will have trouble against her. She should be fine against Singed to be able to kill him. Actually, bot lane, Slepper getting dove. He's going to be able to take him out. Makler has to get out of there now, though.
Lipic is taking a lot of damage. Makler is going to go down to the tower, so it's 1-for-1 exchange. I am still watching the chat. Guys, if there is lag, unfortunately there is nothing that I can do about it. It is coming from Twitch. If the audio is fine but the video is lagging, it is a problem that comes from the Twitch servers. Lipic is just going to get deleted there. Unstoppable force and ground slam and just instantly killed. Yeah, as I mentioned, guys, my upload and my download is running absolutely perfectly. But unfortunately, whatever server I'm busy routing through, it is where the lag is coming from. If it really is super terrible, I can try take the stream down and offline, but it would be up to the admins to actually give me the heads up for that one. But how much gold is Akali sitting on? 1,300 gold in the bank. Where does Anguish go now with that item build? The Phage is already completed. What does she move up to next?
Now, Phage is actually a very odd item on Akali. You normally don't see that. This could be a Triforce Akali, or maybe just a variation. Normally, the Akali build would be something like a Revolver into a Gunblade, and then that's going to be your slow rather than the Phage. So, I'm actually really interested to see what this build will turn into.
Yeah, it is quite strange. You know, I wonder if we might even just see a Hextech Revolver or some additional ability power, considering there is a decent chunk of gold. Sivir on the bottom lane, 3-for-1. Pickaxe, Berserker's Greaves, and double Dorans already. So, a full pickaxe ahead of Ezreal.
Now, the problem is, if you look at Sivir, she's doing well, but the rest of the lanes are kind of falling apart for MeetYourMakers right now. Like, that gold lead has grown quite a bit, 1,400, despite the fact that they had such a good lead. Extinct actually getting caught in the mid lane. Looks like he will go down, maybe.
Is going to go down to the last auto attack from that little seedling. But what I really like from Mokat is he positioned himself so well. He literally ran to the side of Gragas and tossed Gragas back to safety. So I really like what I was seeing there from that particular play. Slepper does have the red buff. It's going quite aggressive now. Makler is going to eat a lot of damage. Spell Shield is going to block the True Shot Barrage. Lipic is forced out. Arcane Shift is only available in a couple of seconds and manages to get away from their last Mystic Shot. Compliments of that movement speed buff from On the Hunt on Sivir. She's just going to use the last of that ultimate to farm up the wave. And Lipic with a potion and Triumphant Roar is going to try keep himself back up to health, to top health.
They actually can turn around, like they're being cautious because they know they have the chance to actually get a kill down there, but it's just so scary because one good stun from Taric, Alistar dies. One good stun onto Sivir, Sivir dies before she can respond. Like they're both, like they have sustained back up there, they can go for some aggression, but that red buff's going to be so hard to deal with right now for Makler and Lipic.
Yeah, really powerful. It is down to about 2/3 of its time has already been used, so just the last little bit of time, and it's exactly like you said, it is going to be a Trinity Force Akali. Sheen has now been completed. Volley Bear's coming in, that's a great pulverized headbutt combo. There comes the Rolling Thunder, and Zinnik is going to get deleted. The last hit will go from Makler. Zinnik actually dealing a lot of damage with that Shatter Radiance combo, and for a moment, we thought Makler may have actually gone down.
Ezreal actually could have picked up the kill if he stayed in the area, which I find hilarious, but probably good he didn't. He probably would have been focused down instead. Now though, trying to get his True Shot Barrage up, he wants to get the kill, and unfortunately Makler has life steal back, enough HP, and yeah, Triforce Akali. I haven't been seeing a lot of Akali lately. I've actually missed the game she was played in recently, but I don't know how that's going to work.
Body slam is going to go forward. Sharu's going to get knocked backwards. A beautiful unstoppable force. That is going to be a one dead plant. Extinct is going to give up his life in exchange though. And now Volibear looking to set up a double. Slepper has joined the party and now the Bear's on the way back. Can he get away? He is actually going to be able to make it back to safety. And now Sinjalski looking for that fling into Poison Trail. Looking for Slepper now. He's going to carry on chasing. Insanity Potion is available, as is Ignite. He's going to be able to land the fling, toss him back, and that's going to pick up the final kill. Anguish wants to pick one up as well, and actually gets headbutted through the wall. That is so huge. Decides to leap forward into 4, and I don't know what the thinking was there, or if there was just no vision, but manages to pick that one up, and now they're going to start Dragon.
He had to have vision to actually go in there. Do you hear that, by the way? I don't know, like I hear like a steam thing going on next door. That's kind of weird. He 1 to 4 people. He had to have vision to go in there, but like as he actually started going for the dash, the vision revealed the other players. That had to be the worst feeling in the world for Anguish right there. It's like I was totally safe and committed suicide. We do have MeetYourMakers up 1,400 gold now. The pause has come out, so might be some internet issues going on there.
Well, I have just thrown up the chat, so if they start talking, if they start mentioning anything, we'll be able to see exactly what's happening. And for everybody that's just joined the stream, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is, of course, MeetYourMakers taking on Curse EU in a best-of-3 for the IPL Elites. I'm not 100% certain what is happening with this pause right now, but let's take a brief moment to look at the items. Triple Doran's Blade, and a KG's Lucky Pick for Gragas. Sheen and Phage for Akali, Phage for Ezreal. So we're going to see double Trinity forces coming out from Curse. You guys can see the gold graphs on the bottom of the page. And while we wait for this pause to go through, Studio, what do you have to add?
So, Triforce on Akali. Now, I can actually talk about this way back when, way back when Akali was first released. Someone did the math for her damage and her skills, and this has actually stayed largely the same, despite the fact that she was released about, what, like 2 years ago almost. Akali will scale really well with attack damage and doesn't need a lot to actually outdo her AP damage. It's just the problem is it's sustained damage rather than the bursty damage. But with the composition that Curse has, they're going to have the advantage where they can use Malphite ult into Gragas ult and just keep everybody spread out. And then that's when Akali's sustained damage will be super effective because it'll just be a lot of just 1v1s going on. So in the end, Akali can do better damage overall with a bit more attack damage. It's just not as reliable as the AP because normally Akali will just kind of die if she goes for sustained damage. Both teams are going to the bathroom right now. So going to be a bit longer of a pause, I guess. The water closet currently in use.
Do you anticipate some tanky items coming out of Akali? You know, Trinity Force completed and then maybe going GA as maybe a second, third item?
Guardian Angel and Warmogs are not unheard of items on Akali, which makes sense because she does a lot of damage, but she dies. So she will have to go tanky at some point. The question I think is it going to be a GA? Is it going to be maybe a Warmogs? I think with like just the combination of flings, it's going to be so hard for Akali to escape a situation. So GA may not be that effective. But I don't know. I think she can go really either way.
So in terms of gold, 19,300 sitting for MIM, 18,000 sitting on the side of Curse. The gold graph is very small. You can see the numbers at the bottom of your screen. And pretty good start. MYM have been doing very well, but now that Akali's starting to roam and starting to move around the map a little bit, and Malphite's picked up a couple of kills with his Unstoppable Force as well, or at least an assist and a kill. What do you think about the team fight compositions? You know, we've got a lot of single target abilities from, actually you got a lot of AoE from everybody. You know, the Fling, the Poison Trail, the Majestic Roar, Stranglethorns. Both sides have a lot of AoE and two what would maybe slightly non-traditional AD carries in the form of Sivir and Ezreal.
So MeetYourMakers, they have a lot of AoE CC. They have really good single target like focus though. You pull someone out with Fling, you pull someone out with Rolling Thunder, they are screwed unless they have a really good flash lined up. And as I said, like really good flash, because we saw the flash earlier from Anguish was not good enough. So they have a really cool composition with that where they can AoE CC a team and then kill one person by just focusing them out. Curse, like I said before, they have that really odd composition where they can use Malphite ult into a dispersion with Gragas ult and then fight this really spread out team fight, which they can take advantage of with Ezreal's poke, with Kali's mobility and her sustained damage. So they both have really unique compositions. I think it's going to be about who just gets the better initial positioning, because one good positioning means both teams can go crazy with their compositions.
And whoever is able to execute somebody quicker as well. The burst damage is, I would say, significantly higher for Team Curse. Unstoppable Force, you know, say you open up with an Unstoppable, then follow it up with the Explosive Cast, and, you know, a True Shot Barrage, maybe hitting 2 or 3 people. The MYM players simply don't have that same level of burst.
Curse Extinct has quit. Max immediately after. Ready? Um, I, I have to say, like they're both unique compositions. I really like the Zyra play I've been seeing lately. What makes her really effective has to be that ultimate.
Yeah.
Like all of her skills are pretty good, but that big AoE CC is just so strong.
Well,
So
keep in mind she's got two AoE CCs. Grasping Roots is going to hold anybody in place, uh, rooting them for 1.25 seconds, and that can potentially root an entire team. So that's an immediate counter to Australia's Reverie. That's an immediate counter to a big initiation. And on top of that, she's also got the Strangle Thorns, which is a strong AoE CC. And if there's any seeds around that Grasping Roots has hit, those little plant turrets that pop up, they're also going to apply a slow as well. So you've got good uh, uh, defensive abilities, and you can use them offensively if you manage to position them correctly and slow somebody away before they can, maybe slow them down. So a fling or a rolling thunder can toss them backwards.
all right, let's talk hypotheticals. Hypotheticals, not exactly the most reliable thing, but imagine Alistar manages to pulverize everybody on Curse. So that's, I believe, about 1.5 seconds of crowd control. So that's a pretty good CC right there. So they're CC'd for 1.5 seconds. All of a sudden, they get rooted immediately by Saru. That's another. They'll actually scale all the way up to 1.75 at max rank. Actually, Saru. Okay, maxing at second. So 3.25 seconds of CC. Then you have the ultimate. So it's going to be about 4 seconds of CC with the ultimate from Zyra. And they always have Fling. They always have Rolling Thunder. If things go well for Meet Your Makers, they can keep Curse locked down for about 4 seconds, and then they're slowed afterwards by Singe, by Zyra, and they're just in a horrible spot.
Let's have a look at what Singe is doing at the moment. He's 80 CS to 102 of his lane counterpart, opting to go for double GP10s. So he hasn't revealed his hand in terms of what items we're going to be seeing next. So how does Singed build in a lineup like this? Do you expect to see a Rylai's Crystal Scepter coming out of him at some point?
Well, he just bought a Ruby Crystal and a Blasting Wand. As you said, that my guess would be Rod of Ages, because it's effective on him. It's just a good purchase. It make him nice and tanky, really hard to kill. There is no like percentage-based damage on the enemy team, so nothing like Kog'Maw will just obliterate him. That would be my guess. Singe can build kind of anything. It's just, what's your plan? I think this is going to be more traditional Singe. But traditional Singe, I mean, run into the enemy team and be completely insane. But that is traditionally how you play Singe.
Yeah, it is very true. So we'll see where that goes. He's a little bit behind Akali, of course, those 2 kills and the farm advantage. In terms of the other lanes at the moment, middle 107 to 114. That's about as even as it's going to get. Bottom lane 108 to 105. So other than Akali in the top lane, it's pretty much bang on even all over the place. Except have a look at that Volibear, 52 CS to the 77 of Malphite. But then again, we have seen more presence from Volibear in the lanes for ganks.
So actually getting harassed behind his turret by a barrel from Extinct. Got to actually, he's in a scary spot right now, but they try and converge on the mid lane. Not quite effective. They're actually all grouped up though. What? Anguish ulted to Libic mid headbutt, and they both swap positions over the wall. That was actually awesome. Oh, also, don't forget to fast forward.
Yes, I am a few seconds behind, so let's get this back up to live. There we go. Back up at live now.
I forgot to. It's very odd little bug there.
And that was interesting as well. We've seen all 5 members of both teams converging in the middle, and then nothing actually happening. Zinkowski is definitely coming off worse in these trades. A good fling and poison trail damage. Now there comes that huge slow from the goo. He's going to carry on chasing. If Anguish decides to stay around, Volibear may be able to pick up an execution. Ignite goes out, a very nice fling. Now Zinkowski's trying to one away. Mokat does not decide to use his flash. And now he's going to be very careful because Extinct is going to come in. Explosive cast is available. Let's see how the movement speed is going to go. A very nice body slam into the barrel. He's going to put some decent damage down. And now Zyra's joined this party as well. Absolutely everybody coming in from all angles. Mokat, the passive is about to get triggered after all that burst damage that Extinct is putting down with just those couple of what you could consider cheap ability power items.
I mean, he doesn't have a lot. Oh, actually, sorry, getting bursted, knocked back down there. Does get out though.
Anguish has now decided to commit, is going to be able to pick one up, going to be able to use that dance kit all the way to the back. Another huge explosive barrel. The passive from Zyra is, of course, the ability to shoot out that line nuke after she has died. Did pick it up onto Anguish, but Anguish has got pretty good spell vamp Compliments of his passive. So let's see if we're going to see another dive. Extinctor's going to come in here. He's going to land the body slam, the barrel, and in actual fact, the Rolling Thunder is going to throw Extinct backwards to safety. Sinkowski's now going to think about a fling. The slow from that Twilight or that Shroud. It's not a Twilight Shroud. It is a Twilight Shroud. Is going to slow him down just enough to get Gragas away. But look at that. 5-2-0 on Akali.
And Akali, like, they may be equal in gold, but right now Akali is just devastating. They do have good lockdown for her, but like the way these fights have been going, they're like lots of 1v2s, 2v2s, these really small fights that Akali will just excel in just because if she's not getting bursted down, she's doing so much damage. Right now, MeetYourMakers need to make sure that they get into a nice big AoE fight, but at the same time, Curse has a great AoE team themselves, so it's really hard for Curse or for MeetYourMakers to do something about Akali right now because they don't feel confident getting into those big fights.
Do you think that there is enough disruption or enough control, the unstoppable force, the dazzle, and the explosive cost to allow Akali the time she needs to deal that damage?
There totally is for both teams. That's what makes it so scary. I'm so sorry.
He is going to get completely blown up. The tree shot barrage comes out. Now Makla's forced out of the fight once Akali decides to jump in there. Slip is actually the one that manages to pick up the kill. And I think that was compliments of the Ignite or the red buff. And that is a 1-for-1 exchange. So Ezreal gets a kill and Siva goes down. Volibear picks up the credit for that one. But both of these teams seeming to be somewhat in sync. They always seem to have lots of champions around the same area of the map.
Actually, look at the gold dead even, so 26,000 gold. Maluna actually in the top lane being chased down by Sinkowski. Looks like he'll get away. Akali's actually converging onto him up there.
And while that's going on, Extinct is taking so much damage under the tower. Mokat is going to use that Shirley's Rev to try chase up, dodging that last barrel. 1 or 2 more auto attacks is going to be enough to pick that one up. Somehow Singe manages to escape up in that top lane, but another kill for the bear, and he's currently 3-2-5 at 20 minutes.
Oh, and he needs these kills just because looking at his CS, he is so far behind Malphite. Like, they're on completely different levels of gold right now, just for the jungle. But he's picking up these kills. He's being more effective with his ganks, having participated in 8 out of the 10 kills right now for MeetYourMakers. So Volibear proving to be effective despite his lower CS.
Oh, look at that. There comes the flash. Unstoppable force. The ground slam is out. Seismic shard is slowing Makla down. And Anguish picks up yet another kill. Trinity Force completed and sitting on 1100 gold. So maybe some ability power coming out of Akali shortly?
Possibly. I really want to see what Anguish builds just because he has that Triforce. I do not want to make any assumptions. Is Dragon invisible to you?
Dragon is invisible to me, so they're currently beating the air. Spectator Bug, that's a new one.
That's kind of funny because like, who are they attacking? Because it looks like nobody, but they're attacking it really hard.
No, there was a lot of focus on that one. Lipic, of course, is now sporting the Oracle's Elixir, so he's running around, clearing out these wards as best as he can. Gragas is nearing that Rabadon's Death Cap, and Zyra opting to go for a Rylai's Crystal Scepter first as her first big item.
I like that because it kind of works with the control. The slow, I do not believe it's actually was it just working on... Oh my god, I think it works on her plant's auto attacks. Because Heimerdinger's turrets do not slow with Rylai's. I think the plants were slowing. I'm gonna watch Zyra and double check that.
Well, if the plants are dealing magic damage, it's a little less surprising because don't Heimer's turrets deal physical damage?
No, those are also magical. It might have just been like a spell effect I just did not notice. I will watch for that though.
Alright,
That
so
would be cool though.
we'll keep an eye if the Rylai's does actually apply to those little seedling towers of hers. Take a look at the gold at the moment. You can see it there on the bottom of your screen. A lot of cash busy saved for Akali. 1,600 gold. And I really want to see what Anguish does with that money. How is Anguish going to play Akali, and where does she go next? We got Trinity Force completed. Makla is hovering around in the enemy jungle. We see On the Hunt actually gets used from Makla. Not quite sure why she would blow that ultimate. Maybe anticipating this counter gank. This is 5 members of Curse going into this bottom lane. There comes the body slam through the wall. The explosive cask is available. Where are they going to toss it? Actually manages to miss both champions. Lipic is going to be the first one to go down. Now they've turned their attention over to Soraka. Zara is going to throw out those Stranglethorns, knock up a couple of champions. Ignite is ticking away. That should be enough to pick up the kill, and it is. Akali with another double kill. Now Mokat has joined the party. He's going to be careful because that's 4 members of Curse in front of him. But explosive cast, not really doing a whole lot there in that bottom lane.
And it didn't need to just because of how well coordinated that gank was. The quick Zyra update, her plants actually slow when they auto attack, so Hyla is incredibly strong on her. But right now, just like Curse they're getting into small fights, which they're more effective in, and they were the first ones to go for that big 5e whatever team fight. So like the movement from Curse is just more effective. They're up to about a 4,000 gold difference or a 3,000 gold lead right now. They are strong. They are just taking control of the map, and if MeetYourMakers doesn't group up like right away, and Curse continues to quickly group up as a team, they will just keep getting these kills because, as you can see, when they have a numbers advantage, Malphite, Gragas, even with a mist, Gragas ultimate, they just have so much control with their slows, with their just good CC.
So my email popped up on screen there from Rusty Heart. So sorry about that one. And we do see Gragas, he may be pinched in. Yeah, this is 3 members. The vision is up. The burst from Anguish is so high. Mokka's first to run away. Explosive cast just for that counter initiation. But the burst from Akali, from Anguish at the moment, is just on another level. And compliments of that Trinity Force, the pickaxe, and of course that Hextech Revolver, he is dealing tons of damage.
So here comes a Gunblade. So Triforce into Gunblade, I kind of like that. It's going to be much more survivable, much tankier. Normally you'd see a Lich Bane instead of a Triforce, but she wants the HP and I guess the more consistent slow. That's pretty cool. Oh man, Sivir, you do not want to be there.
Let's see what happens. There goes on the hunt. She's trying to run away, but that red buff is ticking away. Slepper's going to be chancing forward. Anguish is going to be able to just delete Sivir before anything else can happen. Libic, knowing how much trouble he's in, immediately tops that unbreakable wall just to get to safety. In the middle lane right now, though, Maluna has been caught out. Is Zora going to use the Stranglethorns? That is the question. Zinnik was hiding in the grass, waiting for Akali to come up, and just as I say that, he missteps once and gives away his finish. Unstoppable Force throws up, and that's a great explosive cast. Unfortunately, it throws them apart. A true shot barrage then misses. That's 1 kill to Gragas, 1 kill to Ezreal, and Curse, the snowball has started, and they are just catching as much kills and as much snow as they can running down the stream.
And right now, there is no vision on the map for MeetYourMakers. They have 1 ward down. It's in the Tribush bot lane, which Curtis has been avoiding by just running through their jungle to murder them. They have the map control. They have the gank potential with Gragas. Just so many different ways to close a gap, like Akali, Gragas, even Malphite, who hasn't even been ganking. So that is how effective they've been across the map. And I mean, right now there is no response from MeetYourMakers. They're staying spread out. They're staying in these small fights, and it lets Curse just do what they want.
What do you think now about the team carries now? Sivir, Infinity Edge, and Zeal completed. Ezreal, Trinity Force, and Pickaxe. Who's going to deal more damage over an extended fight? Looking at the items.
Oh, sorry about that. There's some local news. I just got heard about. What was that?
Who is going to deal more damage over an extended fight? Ezreal with his Triforce Pickaxe, or Sivir with IE Zeal?
Infinity Edge is going to be more raw damage, but Ezreal's going to have an easier time outputting it just because he'll have that Mystic Shot. And just with the way they've been grouping, Sivir's not really having an easy time actually doing anything.
Yeah, so we do see that Gunblade has now been picked up by Akali. 9-2-4. Out of the 16 kills, been around for 13 of them. Only 3 have actually been picked up where she wasn't involved there. It's a 5-man MYM is now trying to push down this middle lane. Ezreal's going to be a little bit late to the party. Unstoppable Force manages to lock up 2 members. Then the explosive cast goes out. Strangle Thoughts has been going out. True Shot Barrage is going to go through a couple. The first one to fall is going to be Sivir, followed very quickly by the Bull, then the Bear. The Fat Man goes down next, and Zinsalski is going to be the last member of MYM to fall. Triple kill for Slepper. And the only person to survive is the Stranglethorn wielding Zaru. Managed to run away, managed to get all the way to the blue buff.
And unfortunately, like, that is how Curse wants to do their fights. I mean, MeetYourMakers, they just do not have the response right now. Like, look how well that went. Malphite ulted in, Gragas first he actually body slammed in for the damage, then he ulted everybody away, and it's like, alright, you're all on your own now. We're just going to pick you up one by one. Everybody's just kind of getting chased down, except for Zaru, who was able to escape. But, like, it was Maluno on the Mackler, it was Gragas onto the Mokata, and Libic had no option to get away here.
Yeah, and exactly like you said, as soon as they split them up like that, they're just going to allow Akali to jump around and pick up the kills. You're going to give Ezreal the ability to use an arcane shift to get himself in a better position to pick up more kills. And they're simply just going to be able to pick a single target off and focus them. And, you've got the Dazzle to lock somebody up. You're going to have the Body Slam to slow somebody down as well. So if after all that CC and damage hasn't killed anybody, there is still that left. Slepper, thinking about this one, Malphite is getting so close. The vision has gone out. Now, Maluno does have Unstoppable Force. Seismic Shard goes out. Unstoppable is going to hold him up in the air. And That's one dead plant. Such an easy kill for Slipper and Zaru.
As we see Slipper just go ahead, ult down the bot line. Like they just have the map control. Like they're just doing what they want. And MeetYourMakers does not have good response, and like they're already ahead. It's almost like it might almost be too late. Like look at Mokaka up the top lane trying to 1v1 Anguish. This cannot happen. Akali can't be 1v1 like this because they just get murdered.
Yeah.
Legendary. Akali is legendary.
1,300 gold in the bank, and now Libic just walks in front, taunting Anguish, saying, you know what, go for it, I'll put you in melee range. 3,000 gold. Ezreal has now finished his Infinity Edge as well. There goes the barrel, there comes the dash. Anguish is just going to be able to completely delete Libic. Sinzowski is now alone versus 2. He's going to be the next one to fall, and very, very luckily for Makla, he gets knocked away from that explosive cast instead of towards his opponents, which would have given up another kill to Curse EU.
I mean, just that explosive cast, Manko was at about half HP, and Anguish actually flashed forward to try and chase him down, despite the fact he was even close to him. So, like, Anguish there is no control for Anguish now. He will go crazy. He will not be stopped. I do not think MeetYourMakers has a response at this point. They need to get a perfect team fight underneath their own inhibitor turrets.
I do need to jump in there. Anguish going crazy. I think 11-2-7 classifies. I think he's gone crazy this game.
Oh no. Like he flashed forward, but like he had no chance. It was just funny. Oh god, sorry, we're just getting caught out, knocked back, gone. Does knock some people up, but there is no follow-up.
He's just gonna get completely deleted. In the meantime, Ezreal's able to 1v1 Volibear. This is gonna be a second inhibitor. 40 seconds on the clock. I think we should be able to see. There goes the Deathfire Grasp. The damage is so good that True Shot Barrage maybe could have picked it up. But that should be game number 1 going to Curse EU. And I tell you something, they put on a strong performance.
I mean, it's, like this first game, they earned it. They definitely took control and won it once it came to the mid game, extinguishing a lot of damage. Actually gets flung back, will die. Slipper is legendary though. The Nexus will be falling. Good game.
So really well played there from Curse. Never really being in a position where they had to be on the defensive. They lost a couple of kills early, but 11-2-9 Akali and 10-3-5 Ezreal. It does not get much better than that. So Curse EU are going to advance to game number 2. They are 1 game up. And I don't know if we've got the lobby up just yet. So while we arrange this game lobby, while we get this up and running, myself and Studio will be back in a few moments' time. So advert break, some music in the background, and game number 2 of this IPL Elites is coming up next.